of the La Grange Public Library Board of Trustees to order. It is 7:04 p.m. May I have a roll call, please?
Katie.
Here.
Joyce. Here. Brecken.
Here.
Becky.
Here.
Lisa.
Here.
Chantel.
Here.
Vicky absent.
So we have some special visitors tonight, our new trustees. And we have welcome. And then Rebecca Bartley from Access Services and Peter Van Kempen as well. You guys have all met. Joanne as well. And
A member of the public.
a member of the public. Hello. Thank you for being here. Sure. Do we have any public comment otherwise?
Did you have a public comment, Miriam?
No comments from me, thank you.
None received by the library.
Okay, thank you. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I motion we approve the consent agenda.
I second.
Any discussion? Roll call?
Katie.
Aye.
Joyce.
Aye.
Brecken.
Aye.
Becky.
Aye.
Lisa.
Aye.
Chantel.
Aye.
Vicky absent. Motion passed.
Okay. So our first item of current business this evening is very special. We have some resolutions of appreciation for our three outgoing trustees this evening: Breen Culler, Joyce Hagen-Macintosh, and Becky Spratford. I've asked Joyce to read Brecken's this evening. So, okay, I'll let you go.
Resolution of appreciation for Trustee Breen Culler. Whereas Breen Culler was elected to the La Grange Public Library Board of Trustees in 2021 and has served her term honorably, and whereas she has faithfully served as secretary of the board since 2022, whereas she was a member of the Policies and Services Committee throughout her term, where her keen eye and discerning approach contributed to the effective creation and review of policies, and whereas she served as village liaison to the board, thoughtfully calling attention to matters of importance to the library and its patrons, and whereas Brecken's thoughtful and ethical advice helped inform the board's decision-making, and her dedication to helping fellow trustees navigate challenging situations has been deeply appreciated. And whereas throughout her tenure, Brecken distinguished herself as a dedicated volunteer who is fully committed to doing what is best for the Village of La Grange and all La Grange Public Library patrons, local and not, as well as library staff. And whereas Brecken steadfastly serves the community at large with her work with the Leader Shop, empowering, supporting youth leaders, and whereas Brecken took all her duties of her trustee role seriously, so no area was diminished and all groups she worked with benefited from her strengths. Therefore, be it resolved that this board expresses to Brecken its sincere appreciation for her counsel and hard work, commends her for exemplary service to the board, and congratulates her for a job well done. Be it further resolved that the board extends to Brecken's its heartfelt wishes for good health and success in her career. Brecken will be missed for many reasons noted above, especially her insightful contributions to discussions, detailed examination and board decision-making, and her commitment to moving values of equity, diversity, and inclusion forward. Thank you.
You can present everything at the same time?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then I can take a picture.
Sorry, you're a professional.
Arcadia's, that's why she could go home, because I said I would take pictures. And I guess you're a cutie pie kid.
All right, thank you, Joyce. Now it's my honor to read this resolution of appreciation for Joyce Hagen-Macintosh. Whereas Joyce Hagen-Macintosh was first elected to the La Grange Public Library Board of Trustees in 2017 and re-elected in 2021 and has faithfully served these two terms, and whereas Joyce has honorably served in leadership roles throughout her tenure, including as secretary, vice president, and president, serving as board president through the COVID-19 pandemic, providing steady leadership in the face of great uncertainty, while ensuring needed services were rendered to patrons safely. And whereas Joyce has served on the Policies and Services Committee throughout her term, including as its chair, where her professional expertise, conscientious manner, and thoughtful approach contributed to the effective creation and review of policies. And whereas Joyce was instrumental in the development of the La Grange Public Library Trustee Handbook, a key source of guidance and support for new and existing trustees, leaving a valuable reference that will outlast her service to the board. And whereas Joyce has shared her passion for intellectual freedom and provided vital education on this topic to multiple boards during her years of service, ensuring that the La Grange Public Library remains a forum for the exchange of information and ideas. And whereas throughout her service on the board, Joyce has been an involved and active leader in the library community, the Illinois Library Association, the American Library Association, and the Freedom to Read Foundation. And whereas throughout her tenure, Joyce has demonstrated a profound commitment to the core values of library service, always striving to enrich the lives of others by helping make valuable library materials and services available to all. And whereas Joyce distinguished herself as a dedicated volunteer who's fully committed to doing what is best for the Village of La Grange and all La Grange Public Library patrons, local and not, as well as library staff, and took all duties of her trustee role seriously, so no area was diminished and all groups she worked with benefited from her strengths. Now therefore be it resolved that this board expresses to Joyce its sincere appreciation for her counsel and hard work, commends her for her exemplary service to the board and to the library, congratulates her on a job well done, and be it further resolved that the board extends to Joyce its heartfelt wishes for good health, much happiness, and many future adventures. Joyce will be missed for many reasons noted above, and especially for her compassion, wisdom, good humor, exceptional discernment in board decision making. I wrote it, so it's true.
Presidential.
Unwavering commitment to intellectual freedom and fierce dedication to every role she took on. Unanimously adopted by this Board of Trustees.
Thanks.
And then, what a privilege to be able to honor 24 years of service.
It's a long time.
It's a long time.
She's setting the bar high, guys.
I know. Y'all didn't start when you were.
the first meeting.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean,
You're in the square now.
y'all didn't start when you were what? How old was I? That was
2012.
So 12.
Yeah.
So it was like 26, 25, 26.
Well, I think.
I don't do math. I'll be 50 soon.
But I met you 10 years ago at a library, but not this library.
Yeah.
It was at the Casa Library.
Yeah.
Where you were volunteering.
And then we found out we had so much in common that we didn't know.
We did, but I loved that you were volunteering there even long after your kids
I'm
were
going to be there tomorrow.
gone. Are you still there?
Kelly's retiring, so we're trying to get things in order.
My goodness. So
Yeah.
I think that just says so much about your dedication to libraries as a whole and the community that you are still there. It's amazing. So, what a privilege and an honor to read this resolution of appreciation for Trustee Becky Spratford. Whereas Becky Spratford was first elected to the La Grange Public Library Board of Trustees in 2001 and has faithfully served for 6 terms over 24 years, being reelected in 2005, 2009, 2013, 2017, and 2021. And whereas Becky has honorably served in leadership roles throughout her tenure, including as secretary, treasurer, vice president, and president, and whereas Becky passionately advocated for the construction of the current La Grange Public Library building by lobbying community support, including facilitating the successful referendum that funded the building, all leading to the unparalleled community resource that graces our village today. And whereas Becky led the relocation of the library to a temporary facility during the construction of the current building, ensuring that services and materials were still accessible to patrons during 2 years of construction. And whereas she served as treasurer and chair of the finance committee, demonstrating sound financial stewardship throughout her tenure, and whereas she participated in the hiring of 3 library directors and numerous strategic plan processes, all of which have guided the continuous growth and evolution of the library's collections and services. And whereas throughout her service on the board, Becky has been an active and involved leader in the Illinois libraries, elevating the La Grange Public Library in the library community, while keeping service to La Grange at the forefront. And whereas Becky has been a dedicated member of the Illinois Library Association, the American Library Association, and the board's liaison to the ILA and reaching across Illinois library system, and has presented on panels throughout Illinois highlighting the La Grange Public Library and its staff. And whereas she has served on the ILA Conference Planning Committee as a member of the ILA Board of Directors as a trustee representative, overseeing the ILA Trustee Forum, and a host of trustee days at ILA on multiple occasions. And whereas Becky Spratford has served on the Board of Directors for the Reaching Across Illinois Library System as a public library representative. Whereas throughout her tenure, Becky has distinguished herself as a dedicated and passionate volunteer who is fully committed to doing what is best for the Village of La Grange and all La Grange Public Library patrons, local and not, as well as library staff. Whereas Becky took all of her duties of her trustee role seriously, so no area was diminished, and all groups she worked with benefited from her strength. Now, therefore, be it resolved that this board expresses to Becky its sincere appreciation for her counsel and hard work, congratulates her for a job well done, and commends her for her extraordinary 24 years.
I didn't live in Illinois 34 years ago.
It's my secret plan.
I've only lived here since 1997.
Slide it in there. Just like
Collusion.
24 years of exemplary service to the board and to the library. And be it further resolved that the board extends to Becky its heartfelt wishes for good health, much happiness, and future adventures. Becky will be missed for many reasons noted above, and especially for her passionate support for libraries near and far, her informed and spirited contributions to discussions, her institutional knowledge, her direct and amiable manner, and most of all, her long-standing and unwavering commitment to the La Grange Public Library and the community it serves.
Julia, would you help Katie hand out our, if you all don't mind coming up and so I can get a picture of all of you?
Please get the mugs from that my neighbor.
These are from me personally.
You don't have to.
Let me get in the middle.
That was nice, Katie. Thank you.
All right, what? Sorry.
That was from Katie personally.
Thank you.
Oh, I don't have hands for everything.
Well, we can grab those. Okay. Floral shot.
Like I just did this in
Floral
Bloomington for
first.
ILA too.
Come on, pal.
Cindy was taking all our pictures.
All right, we're gonna do a couple, okay? 1, 2, 3.
By the way, it's
And then we'll do just a little taller. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
will not respond.
Okay. And then, do you want to present them with their
Like so, look at these.
further gifts?
Excuse me.
How fun!
Oh, thank
Thank you.
Cute for wrapping job. We've added things.
All right.
Yeah, nice wrapping job.
No. All right, we'll just do one of these. Okay.
Okay,
And
now-
then we have one more special one for you, Becky, Katie.
Oh,
Yeah.
jeez Louise.
So, Becky.
When it is
Sorry, I'm blocking
something
your
for
video.
like 20 years long.
For half your literal half your life.
So, you know, we've talked about how you were instrumental in bringing this building into being, and we wanted to do something special to honor your extraordinary term of service here. So, in talking with Jen, she had worked up this fabulous idea to commemorate.
Oh God.
It's still good.
To commemorate.
Oh, it's
the building.
great.
So it's a watercolor.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. That's so cool.
Yeah,
Thank you.
so we thought you'd enjoy this.
I will. I have
memento.
I have pictures of other things in town that an artist did, and I once commissioned a drawing of my own house. So
So she
have no
commissioned
idea.
an artist
Thank
to
you.
do this
Yeah.
for.
thank you. Do you need a picture?
Yeah.
Or Arcadia will be back, and I will do that.
Great, and let's do.
We should have commissioned one for the library to have too.
We could.
All right.
Thank you. That's awesome.
You can do that when you
I'll hang it up in my office.
foundation.
Yeah, when I do the foundation.
And this is a gift from the board. So
Well, thank you.
From all of us.
Well, thank you. That was very nice. Thank you all. That was
Can we
unexpected.
swear them in and then we.
Yeah, then I can. My husband's at the Pillars Board meeting, but when that's done, we're going to dinner.
We'll swear you in and then all like have a party together in the same place without breaking any laws.
As long as we don't talk about the library.
We can.
Yeah, because we can party, but if they wanted to join us, yeah.
Maybe we could have Brecken come up.
Well, you saw we walked in and she told us to leave. You were there.
Come up this way.
Picture of Brecken.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, we have to. Yes.
And then.
Well, thank you, everyone. That was very unexpected. The picture. Thank you. It's much appreciated.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be in my office so other libraries can see it when I present for them.
Who is that artist?
I don't know.
So it is a gentleman I found on Etsy. It's Jesse Hotchu, and he is a person
Oh yeah, Jesse.
who he works in the education field he lives in Maryland, I think, works in Washington, D.C., so he is an education advocate and does all different watercolors, so.
Very cool.
Yeah. Oh, I love it. It's a podium. Perfect. Perfect. You gotta use it if you got it, right?
Good.
Yeah, you're fine. Would you like to do
Should we have one at a time or how?
We usually do them all at the same
You do them all three at the same time?
We do them all at once.
time.
Would our trustees come up to be sworn?
I thought I put it in here. Now I can't find it. It's not a good verse.
Okay.
Oh, I gave it back to her.
I'm no professional, so just tell me if I'm getting the procedure incorrect. Do we do the raise your right hand?
Yes.
We do.
All at the same time?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Do an I state your name situation?
Yes, we're gonna do an I state your name, but we'll try to. I'll try to chunk it up. All right. It is my honor to swear in the 3 new trustees to the Village of La Grange Library, and I guess we'll begin. Repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Jessica Taylor,
Having been elected to the office of Library Trustee in the Village of La Grange,
having been elected to the office of the Library Trustee of the Village of La Grange
in the County of Cook,
in the County of Cook,
do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and the Constitution of the State of Illinois,
and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of trustee
and I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of trustee
of the La Grange Public Library
of La Grange Public Library
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
Yay! You're in!
You'll each need to sign your respective forms, so I'll just, okay.
Fastest board meeting I've ever been to.
Motion to adjourn.
I motion we adjourn.
I second.
Becky seconded.
And then you have to restart, right?
Yes, we will, as soon as everybody's ready.
Great.
Thank you very much.
And you can text me if you have any questions.
I think you'll still.
Yeah, that's why I figured. No, it's
Becky, you'll probably still see me.
She's like, for anything.
Yeah.
And then, but if you ever are concerned and you don't want to talk to anyone,
Oh, thank you.
obviously we check with Katie, but you can check with me too.
Cool, thank you so much.
Congratulations. Have fun.
And then do you want me to stick my head?
This was a lot easier than driving to Normal to finish being on that board.
So there was
I am staying on ILA though, so.
a lot going around the director's listserv about like, is this the right oath? So that is the oath directly from the state.
I'm just gonna.
Somebody shared, you think that's sad? And they showed the one for school board, it's 2 pages long.
Oh.
So it goes like,
Another reason.
it's like it came to the right board is what I'm saying.
Don't discourage people from running for school board. We need good people.
No, I'm not giving away any more good people. I'm over it.
All right.
I like my people. All right, I'll talk to you later. We are presenting about La Grange at ILA in October.
Are you taking your thing, Becky?
Yeah, I have it. What thing? Your name
Do you want to take this?
Oh, we could also recycle it. I have my actual tag.
There you go.
Thank you though.
You are very welcome.
All right, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
I have Becky's token. I don't have anybody else's token.
I have my stamp. I know. I'm super excited. I know CE knows. I turned in my fob. I am not going to bring it. Is it? Oh, is it? You can talk. Bye.
Bye. You guys have a good night.
Sister.
So, we're calling on the board to order. Very exciting.
All right, Kelly, we're ready for the new roll call.
The time is 7:24. What?
We're convening.
Of the new board.
Yes.
Roll call. Katie?
Here.
Lisa?
Here.
Chantel?
Here.
Beth?
Here.
Jess?
Here.
Jen?
Here.
Becky absent.
Yay. Thank you.
Have a quorum.
All right. Okay, so next up, we get to introduce our slate of officers and committee assignments. So, officers, Joyce and I formed a very informal nominating committee and decided on our slate for this year. So I'll continue as president. Lisa has kindly agreed to step in as vice president. Chantal very kindly is taking on the duties of treasurer. And then our other trustee who's not here tonight, Vicky, she'll be stepping in as secretary. So we thought it would be nice, since we've got 3 brand new people, to kind of maintain some continuity with our existing folks. So, but we're looking forward to bringing you into the committee positions. So we have 2 committees, finance and then policies and services. The committee chair positions are tied to positions. So Chantal as treasurer will be chair of the finance committee. Vicky's wanting to continue with that committee.
Okay.
So we'll have 1 spot open there. Lisa as vice president will be chairing the policies and services committee. And then we'll have 2 spots open.
Oh, that's right.
Yes. So, I don't know if you all have strong feelings about which way you'd like to go. You're not making a lifetime commitment, so you can certainly try it for the year and then, reevaluate this time next year. So, our thinking was, Beth, because you have education background, it might be a nice fit for policies if you're willing to take that on. Okay. Do either of you have a strong feeling about finance?
I'd probably say policy versus finance.
Okay. Okay, perfect.
I mean, you are
So
PCC treasurer.
Well, there you go. That's great. We have a treasurer in our midst. I forgot. So wonderful. Then great, Jenny. Great. Then you'll join Chantal and Vicky with finance, and then Jess, thank you for joining the policy crew. You're all in a row, ready to go. So,
Should we talk a little bit about those responsibilities?
We can
just
definitely.
to give a quick.
yes. Yes.
So for policies, we meet maybe 4 times a year, once a quarter, and the meeting is an hour or too long, and we'll go over the policies on employment and paid leave and all those kind of things. And we've been going through, and Jen will kind of cycle to us which policies are kind of old and need to be reviewed again. And so something you'll get emailed in advance, read the document, provide your feedback, collect your feedback, and then we'll discuss it in the meeting and the subcommittee meeting. Mm-hmm. And then when we come to the board meeting, all the discussion has already happened, and we'll say we recommend these policies with these changes, and then there'll be a vote. So that's not a lot of heavy lifting.
Yeah, and there's probably certain guidelines they have to meet anyways that we have to follow, or?
Do we have
library, state library, or
They're-
how much are our control?
So a lot of, in Illinois, the libraries have a lot of local control over that stuff. There are certain things that we do have to do. So like Rebecca mentioned, our non-resident policy, that's one that we re-examine every year because we have to file that with the state. We also will look at like our salary scale every year, which is technically in our personnel policy, but it gets passed with the budget. So that's something that finance will look at. But for the most part, my standard and kind of the general rule of thumb in the library field is that you're looking at your policies every 3 years. So we're technically fairly caught up, believe it or not. We do have some policies that were implemented in 2020 that we're going to bring forward this year. I'm hoping we can schedule a policy committee meeting before you all leave today because we wanted to make some of those changes to our library card expansion, which is one that we would do likely along with the non-resident. So yes and no. My process is always to work with the staff involved in the area. So like with library cards, for example, Rebecca and I have worked extensively on that one in the background. Then I send it to our legal team for review. They make suggestions and comments sometimes as well. And then I send it to the trustees. I send them the red line so you can see what was there originally and what legal recommended. And then we go through and discuss. And there have been times where in policy we've said, hey, that doesn't make sense.
Right.
Can we ask for more information? So even if we review it, it doesn't always make it.
Right.
Most of the time it does, but there's some standard stuff you do have to have, like VESA. I mean, I'm sure you know as a business owner, right? You have to have VESA policies.
That's more what
Yeah, and those are,
like that, yeah.
I think we did those last year. So we don't have to do those for a couple of years. But it's a mixture of both operational and personnel policies. And then there's some legal stuff that board bylaws, finance policy, et cetera, that we have to look at every couple of years. I think that's it, right?
Yes, sure.
And that meeting is set based on the schedule of the committee. So it's something where it's to be what's convenient for you and staff to make it work.
Let's talk about touch.
Fine. Friends.
We haven't gotten to that.
They didn't
just
get that far yet.
Oh, we'll get there. I promise.
She
Yeah.
didn't forget.
Yeah. So finance, would you like to chat?
So I think we meet, tell me if I'm wrong, about 4 times a year too?
If that, yeah.
I don't know. So we oversee the budget, obviously, that's probably the biggest thing, but also the investments. So we meet every once in a while when we know, like, we've got investments, usually CDs coming due, and we have to decide, how to invest it next. And then, like, we have to oversee, like, the levy. So that's coming up
too.
Right? Maybe in June.
Yes.
So that's coming up where we have to determine, like, the levy amount. But it's pretty much tied to the village, so it's not that, it sounds complicated, but it's really, we kind of follow the village on that one. Am I forgetting anything else?
I don't think so. I think it's kind of like Lisa's saying, it sounds like a lot until you do it, and then you realize, it's really bringing your expertise that you have. Chantal has excellent expertise when it comes to some of our investment stuff. I remember you were very instrumental in us increasing our investments, remember?
Yeah.
Right? And taking advantage of those, short-term.
We're doing pretty well.
Yes,
And
exactly.
Chantal and I will probably communicate a little bit more because she signs the checks and all that kind of stuff. So she hears from me a little bit more directly, but otherwise, yeah.
Yeah. It'll be fun.
Finance is good.
Yeah.
Excellent. So those are the 2 standing committees. And then we also have a Friends of the Library liaison, so someone who works specifically with that group. We have a liaison to the village who reports to us each month on things that are, of interest to the library or patrons, just in general. Brecken did that for us before and was really kind of had her finger on the pulse of what was going on in the area, things, related to other boards or just things, other village happenings, so that was helpful. And then we also have our liaison to RAILS, the library system, and ILA, the Illinois Library Association, who just sort of keeps up with really pertinent things there. Yeah. So those may be good places for you guys to become involved. Do we need to decide on those this evening?
If you want them to be able to report on it next month, yes.
I did talk with Vicki, and she's currently the Friends of the Library liaison. She's willing to pass the torch to someone else. And then Becky had been a Rails person, and then obviously Brecken was the village. Do you three have any interest in taking these roles on?
I'd be interested in learning more about the Friends of the Library.
Okay.
I could probably take on that one.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a very
You did
small.
that, yes.
Yeah, I did
Yeah.
in my first year. It's a very small group of people, but is growing. Am I correct? And does fundraising for the library and
Yeah.
selling books at the book resale, and selling books at the farmers market, and so. But it's a very small group, and Arcadia is still involved, correct, as the staff liaison.
I think the hope is always to grow it,
Yeah.
to expand
Yeah.
membership,
So
right?
true.
Yes.
Yeah.
So great, thank you. And then the village and rails are very minimal commitments, really.
Out through the village.
Would you do the village?
I don't mind being a little more in
Okay.
tune with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's great.
I guess in terms of presenting next month, if we were to do that, like what would that look like?
So literally, we're gathered around the table, and then the village liaison comes up, and you tell us, like they're approving,
Just kind of the happenings.
Yeah.
at
Very
9:00 curfew
informal, few
for
minutes.
kids or something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
Like things
Okay.
that just might kind of have bearing on what we do.
Okay.
So, or if there's a big school board referendum
Got
or election reporting. things like that.
That's usually 2 or 3 things.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes there isn't really anything,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah.
okay too. So,
Yeah.
And I would say the same for Rails ILA. Becky was a librarian and very active in the library community, so she had a lot of information to share. We don't need.
I think you could do that one just by reading the email newsletters.
Yes.
To be honest, if you're cool with that.
I'm happy to do it. I'll go and Google Rails and.
So just, and again, Jen's excellent about keeping us in the loop on things like that too, but.
I'm also on the Rails board and an ILA as
Yes.
well. So. And I'm the Rails ILA liaison as the trustee at Villa Park. So
Okay.
Yes.
for the most part, though, it's what's in the emails.
So then maybe you can connect
Yeah, I'd be happy to show you how to do it. It's really easy.
the emails that will be most helpful. So, but yeah, again, 2 or 3 things, if that.
Okay.
So, yeah, thank you. Thank you all. Excellent. Great. So then we're good to go. Yes. So, do I have a motion to approve the slate of officers and committee appointments?
Can I motion on it?
Yes. You can.
Okay, I motion that we approve the slate of officers and committee appointments.
I will second that.
Excellent. Any discussion? Roll call.
Katie,
Aye.
Lisa,
Aye.
Chantel,
Aye.
Beth,
Aye.
Jessica,
Aye.
Jennifer.
Aye.
Vicky absent. Motion passed.
Yay. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for your willingness to jump right in.
Yeah.
So, excellent. So, Rebecca, you're on it.
You tell me when to drop the slide, Gail.
Absolutely. So this is always really fun doing this every year in May because we get the statistics from the previous fiscal year. So our fiscal year lasts from May 1st to April 30th. So it's always kind of fun to come in here and kind of look at these. And next month you get to look at the IPLAR statistics, so you'll see more comprehensive of that. So, all right, so this is the Access Services Department. Let's go to the next slide and I will show you. So this is the department. We have 16 staff. I have a brand new assistant manager. I've actually been the sole manager for the last 5 years. So we have 2 librarians with an MLS, and then we have associates. We have a materials assistant. We're in the process right now of hiring a new materials assistant. And then we have Ann and Bob are our regular volunteers, and they work with the Friends of the Library as well as with us doing the daily pick list. So I think that some of you, we talked about this a little bit last year. One of the things we've been working on is really promoting items through the catalog. And one of the things that SWAN allowed us to do this last year, that was a brand new initiative, was to integrate the events calendar into the catalog. We are the first and only of the Swan libraries to do this. It's been really an exciting process. I actually just got a message from another library. I can't remember. I think it was Messenger up in North Aurora. And they are looking to do that. So we're our library is really serving as the jumping off point for other libraries to do this. It's been really fun and neat. I definitely encourage everyone. It's lgs.swanlibraries.net. It's just if you click on the main catalog button, then you'll be able to see it that way. So that's just a new initiative that we started this year. In fact, I was at the Swan conference in August, and they were doing a presentation on the catalog, and they said, "And did you know that La Grange is the only one to have the events calendar?" And I was like, "Yay!" So this year, Justin and Emily were transitioning over to cataloging. They have recently been promoted to librarian about a year and a half ago. So Emily actually started to download OCLC records and bring those into the catalog. I've been the only one doing that before that, so now I'm training Emily how to do that. So she's been doing the copy cataloging of new books maybe. I'm still doing the original for the ones that are really odd and strange, that are basically ones that we are the only ones that own the item. So. And then this year, Justin participated in the new Rails cataloging mentorship program. So this was the first year of it. So they're almost done actually. Some of you who work at libraries may have heard about this. I know it was kind of blew up on Reddit. Reddit is where we get all our information anymore. So Discover Books was a recycling service that libraries across the country were using, and they went out of business with no notice. Just shut down their doors one day and it was over. We were lucky because we have these little rolly bins that we use. There were some libraries in this area as well as across the country that had locked sheds that they worked with Discover Books, and they basically had no way to access. So there were libraries that actually had to break the locks off and get the books out. It was a whole thing. So we ended up working with some of the people who had left Discover Books and had been, let go when their company closed down. And so now we're working with the group knowledge exchange. So you'll see us rolling the big giant blue bins back there. Something that we worked on this year, the Illinois Library Association created a new partnership with Amazon to work with public libraries. And so instead of paying for, this is basically for libraries that had a business account. So we were having to pay at different tiers of the program. And now Illinois Library Association set everyone to a medium level for free. So we ended up getting a very weird proration of our $400 membership. And they were like, well, we gave you this membership for 1.5 out of the 12 months. So here's your hour. It was a very weird thing. They're like, here's $319 back. And Joanne's like, what is this? What is this money? So because we now have the medium level, we used to be able to only have 10 Amazon accounts, and now we have 18 individual accounts, so each of the staff can control and monitor their own Amazon accounts. So that was really a neat thing. So we had this year, we formed a display and merchandising committee, and this committee was really, we worked on developing displays and aesthetics for the library. One of the things we did is really rearrange the lobby, and for those of you that have been in it, you can kind of tell that this is just one of the things that we did. These are the fronts of the library shelving back here, and then we've got kind of our business center. We moved the couch in here, we scooted the couch a little bit back, and then put the shredder in there. So people love it. I did see one guy sleeping out there today. I don't know. He was really comfortable today.
I thought you were talking about the shredder, because we get very positive comments about the shredder. People love the high dollar shredder.
The shredder is nonstop. I don't think I've ever shredded a document in my entire life, so I don't really understand why it's so exciting.
It's very exciting.
But some people are love bringing we had somebody bring in 3 Baker boxes full, and he's just like, he's like, how late are you open? I mean, literally, like he started at 8, 9 in the morning, and he's like, how late are you open? We go 9 p.m.
2 Baker's boxes open. That's how open we are.
It was just like, he's like, wait, I might have more boxes at home. So as part of the display and merchandising committee, but also as part of our department, we did some relabeling and some moving around of some of the items. I'm particularly proud of the adult Spanish and Polish books. I think we really did, instead of just having a Dewey number or just a small call number, now we actually have the author's full name on there, and it really guides people to the books and shows them. So this was one of the large projects that we did that Kim and I have been working on. So basically, instead of having the spine label in the front of the DVD, now we have it on the side as well as the front. So now they're on the shelves like a bookshelf instead of facing out. This kind of was necessitated because we were going to be getting rid of the older DVD shelving. You probably saw it upstairs. It would mysteriously open the drawer sometimes as you were walking by, and then you'd sort of go like this. So that shelving is going to go. We're not donating it or sending it to another library.
Can't be fixed anymore.
Going to be melted down and build a ship out of it or something. I don't know. But it's so now I think it looks amazing. We have gotten so many positive comments from patrons about this. So we're still working on it. This has been, it's talking about 7,000 items. So Linda has been she's got the Dymo label printer running all day long, and she's working on that. So
Those things you don't think about the people power that it takes to do that.
It's a whole production. So one of the things that we did this year was we created a wrapping paper table. It's just one of those projects that you're don't really know what's going to happen. I thought everybody would come in and steal everything, and it didn't work that way. People left the wrapping paper, they didn't use any of it, and they stole all of the bows. And then somebody came in and took all of the bags, which were donated, so it didn't really matter. But it's just, we're going to keep doing this, because I think we had a few people that, we actually had a few kids, tweens and teenagers, who just loved it. They would sneak in all their presents, and they'd wrap them, and then they'd put them in their backpack and go, oh, my mom will never notice that I have this. So yeah, it was really surprising. I think next time I'm going to just keep the bows behind the desk and maybe just leave a few of the bags out. So, then we also worked at the farmer's market. Something that we put together this year, Kim had received a lot of donations of toiletry items and winter clothing items. And so we had this sort of unused cabinet in the back, and we decided to do that. So I say Peter did this. Peter just moved, he basically picked the cabinet up and just sort of threw it in the lobby. So the cabinet we put in the lobby, and then somebody asked me about it the other day, and I'm I haven't even looked in there. I don't know. It was everything was gone. So obviously people are taking things out of there. I've been sort of reorganizing it, and we have gotten some more donations since then. So. And then on top of the cabinet, you can't really see that in here, but there's a binder with some information about community resources
That our social work team put together.
That's social work, yeah. There's me. We were joking about this in I'm part of an alumni group for my high school, and I'm wearing the same sweater in every picture we had. We were in California, we were in Peoria, and I'm always wearing this sweater. Every picture, I'm this is crazy. So we went to, I was talking about that earlier, Swan Expo, that's our catalog conference that we go to in August. And then this year I did a poster session. You can't really see what this is, but it's providing library service at the pickup window. And then we sent Rafe to his first professional conference. He's one of our shelvers, so this was like a big deal for him to go to C2E2. That's good.
They give you free librarian days.
They have librarian days. So Jen asked me to put together some statistics that were kind of unusual and different, maybe, that we haven't really talked about in this department. All right, so this year, this fiscal year, we created 347 purchase orders. We ordered 7,106 items, that's books and AV. We processed 506 invoices. That doesn't count the supplies invoices, and that doesn't count the other Amazon ones. So we spent $142,000 on materials this year. We greeted 156,611 people through the door. And then specifically, I wanted to highlight the pickup window because I know there have been some questions about that. We checked out almost 2,000 items at the pickup window this year to patrons from 18 Swan libraries. So it's not just La Grange, okay? So that was in a year. And then these are the totals, which again, you're going to see this on the IPLAR. 189,000 books, 3,849 magazines, CDs and sorry, that should say books. 19,000 DVDs and Blu-rays, and 7,000 of the other, which includes the circulating and then some things like playaways. So with a population of 16,000, that's really a lot. That's a lot.
And that books includes like ebooks and
This one is just physical.
Oh,
Yeah, this is
wow.
just physical. And Chuck's going to show you when you get the IPLAR, you'll be able to see the
that's the
breakdown
separate
of
one.
physical and e.
And that's physical magazines too.
Yeah,
So
that's
when you think, oh, it's a physical medium that not a
Yeah.
lot of people are
Yeah.
using, it's very popular here.
I was checking in today and I'm like, I can't believe all the magazines that people check out. It's really amazing.
How do you track the number of people that visited?
So we have a gate counter. Yeah, we have a counter that Peter and I talked about this many times because you have to be 2 feet tall, so it doesn't count the bababies that are being carried or in strollers.
So if you walk in with your son, hold
Yeah.
it.
Jump
through,
like,
bud.
step up on your tiptoes. So we do have a gate counter.
And it's actually a really cool system. We're able to, throughout the day, we can do like heat maps. So we can see we used that a couple of years ago when we adjusted our hours for the library. We were able to show where people were spending a lot of their time in the library. And again, that in and out isn't just the only thing it tells us, which is cool.
Just one more slide. I wanted to talk about just some things that we're going to work on for the next year. So this is kind of in process right now. Hire and train a new materials assistant and assistant manager. This was a really interesting summer because La Grange Park Public Library was also hiring for materials assistants. So we are getting calls every single day about a position that we had somebody call today that was not one of our applicants because they were calling about La Grange Park, and we were like, all the staff are just like, okay. And then we've got Jane as the new assistant manager. Jen mentioned again expanding the cards for kids. We're going to look at the students in District 105 to the south, in the countryside residents. Swan is going to provide online card registration. We don't really have that right now. It's more of like you're applying for an online card before you come in physically. We've got Readers Advisory cross-training we're going to be working on this summer. And then we're going to be implementing Find More Illinois, which is that's kind of like a all Illinois catalog. It's like a smaller shared OCLC. So that's what's coming up. Any questions? And that's a lot of information. Thank you. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We always learn so much.
Okay, and next up is Peter with some information about our construction timeline.
That's mine. It's my other phone.
Oh, I'm looking and thinking you have a phone.
I know.
You have 2 phones.
I do.
Good evening. Jen asked me to do a quick little presentation on just the basics of our construction timeline as we look towards it this year. Last month with the budget approval for the year, the board determined an amount of money to spend on library improvements for this year. But because this budget is based on an annual allotment rather than something out of our larger special building fund, which we determined we're going to use for maintenance and upkeep of the building and things, we have a bit of a tighter timeline to do this because it has to be based in this fiscal year that we designated the money to use this year. So we want to get that process started and moving so we can use that money this year. So there's nothing to act on this evening, but there will be some things coming sort of fast and furious over the summer in order to sort of hit our target timeline to make sure that we get this money spent this year and can sort of start this annual cycle of projects that we were hoping to start working towards. So next month, we're hoping Egbert Anderson, our architecture partner, will be able to attend the board meeting and present sort of the various options we've been discussing with them. Jen and I met with them and Dan Leonardo, our owner's representative, a couple weeks ago to talk through budgets to say, realistically, what can we afford with this money we've set aside this year, which is about $100,000 all in between construction costs, architecture, consultant fees, all of those things. So we sat and they said, bathrooms would be great, but are probably too much unless you wanted to stretch it over a couple years or things, but those get expensive quickly because you're into walls and into plumbing and you need to bring them up to code as it currently stands because they would need to be updated in that way. So the presentations, or the projects we were sort of looking between and asked them to come back and give us some options are, we're to look at the quiet reading room upstairs and start sort of that transition to a more open space, a warmer space, something more usable than the room that's tucked away in the corner as it currently is. Updating the furniture on the second floor, seating, tables, study carrels, things like that. Updated the study rooms to add technology, paint, window treatments, just to make them a bit more functional, sort of as we start to do with the rooms down here, adding technology, cameras, to make them more multimedia, maybe some soundproofing, things in those spaces. Fourth was to look at some sort of marketplace style entrance to the second floor. So where we're taking down all of those empty DVD shelves or replacing them with things to change something out there, add some new shelving, things like that, to turn that into sort of a more similar space that matches the lobby downstairs with some of that mobile shelving and front-facing displays for books. And the last one was to look at options for a walk-up book drop and what that would entail, whether it's back in the area where the drive-up book drop is or somewhere else in the library. So they took all of those ideas and are going to come back next month and show you what they've come up with and what sort of that would look like and what it would cost. So once we've done that, we would pick a direction for them to go and say, great, here's what we want to do. And over the summer, they would do the architectural drawings. So these would need to be specs on anything that's getting touched, moved, addressed, purchased, to say, here's the furniture we're speccing, here's where this wall needs to go, here's the changes to the HVAC we need to have, and we put together a whole section of drawings that they'd come back with. And so that is sort of a longer process. It'll take review for Jen and me and Danny Leonardo and all of that. So that is sort of a lengthier process as we sort of narrow those down. Where we then get the entire turnaround is the bid process. So this is where you all come back into the process again. You have to approve the bid that goes out. So any project over $25,000, any capital project, needs to be open for a public bid as a government organization. And so that requires posting it in the public newspaper. So we post it in the Doings and the Suburban Life. We purchase a big ad that has the bid information where you can get the documents to bid on it. And along with that, we host pre-bid meetings so contractors can come and do a walkthrough just to see what the site looks like. And then we finally do a public bid opening at the end where anyone who bids comes, they have their sealed envelope, and they all sit in a room, and Dan usually does it for us, sits and opens them and just reads them aloud. Your total dollar is this much for, this cost, your insurance will cover all the things we're required to do. And so the reason we want to target that in the fall is because as a public organization, most government organizations share contractors. There are folks who do a lot of government work rather than private work or corporate work. The problem is when they work in the summer, they get all their school jobs in the summer. And so they work May till August and are unreachable. They don't take other jobs, they don't take bids, they put all of their efforts into completing the school jobs because they have such a tight turnaround. So, yeah, go ahead.
Peter, this year's meant to be 25?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
We have not missed anything.
I don't know.
We're back in time, baby.
But I just, okay.
Good catch though.
Yeah. Yes, so these are all this
In
year.
the now.
In the now. This is in the now. So yes, this first one, 2022,
Gotcha.
and it should be
Okay. So
next
it's
month.
+1 everything.
+1 everything.
Okay. Yeah.
Sweet. So after all those bids come in and do that, this is where you, as the board, will take your public action on it. So you'll have sent it out to bid. We will come with you and say, here are all the bids we received, and then Dan Ilanardo and Jen will present to you and say, this is who we think is the lowest qualified bidder. There are ways you determine what qualified means, what qualified doesn't mean, that we'll get to when that comes up, but most often you just have to choose whoever sent in the lowest number, which is what you want to see anyways, and contract them to do the work. So that would be this fall of 2025, not 2024. I was back in time when I was working on this.
It's mayhem, I'm telling you. It's not
Right.
May, it's mayhem.
So we have trouble with dates and things.
Killed me. It's the whole the fiscal year jumping 2 years. It's like this was 24, 25, and next year's 25. No, we're
It's
in
like a brain
25,
bender,
26.
right? Yeah, it is.
And then construction would happen this winter. Whatever the project was, it would be days, weeks, a month or two, depending on what project we decide, what the budget comes in as. But again, we would get that done. All of our projects, other than the book drop, and even then, that's a pretty small project, don't affect the envelope of the building. So weather wouldn't affect us, temperature, things like that. It would all be interior work and things like that. So this is where we start for this year, and then the next year we start again. And this would be 26, 27, not 25, 26. But that would be the goal, is we take sort of this pattern of budgeting and project work and repeat it year after year as we save up or go out for a bond or decide when we want to take a bigger swing at doing a larger construction project, whether that's for the 20th anniversary of the building in 2027 or the library sets up a foundation and raises money for doing things. There's sort of options going forward is what that would look like. But this is sort of our new goal timeline to sort of annualize these small to medium-sized projects to do some sort of showcase projects around the library for pitching this larger improvement. Say, look at what these spaces can be. Let's sink some real sort of money into this building and bring up the standards of what we want it to be all over.
Peter, I have a question.
Sure.
So in June, when we're presented
Yes.
the ideas, will we be voting that night or discussing that night on what direction we want to go in? What's our responsibility next month?
So the only thing on this that the board officially has to do is approve the bid this fall. Everything else would be in consultation with Jen and me and the architects. Sort of, we bring it to you informationally because we want your input, because we want to hear your ideas, and you all have had some great ones as we sort of have dialed in on these things. So we would want your feedback to say, like, that sounds too expensive. I don't think I would vote to approve that come this fall. Or can we stretch this out over 2 years and increase the money we're spending? Sort of those ideas we'd be looking for in June. And then we would take that feedback and head that direction. So that's what we'd be looking for you in June. But we sat down with EA and they seem, we try to pitch projects of doable cost and time. And so they're all going to come in and it's going to be hopefully picking our favorite among great options as opposed to going, that one's a real stinker, let's not.
Yeah, because we won't have seen any drawings or anything like that at this point either. So, there is, and while we're looking at this timeline, we may get drawings back that are not great.
Yep.
Or that we hate. So we don't have to go out to that bid process at necessarily in June, right? That, we still have that drawing time frame. And that's where Peter and Dan and I, and we would update you as the board and things like that, the general consensus is we want to do study rooms, for example. Okay. So then, it's some of the stuff is interesting because if it's something like that where it's very technology based, there won't be much input that we would get, right? Because it's all technology based. But if it is something where we're looking at moving walls or whatever, we need to see those drawings and have that discussion. And then I believe Ingberg Anderson is the one that prepares the bids for us, right?
Correct.
That's part of what we pay them for.
Yeah.
So they'll need time to do that as well. So when we're talking about fall or summer, it's really that extended time frame.
There's a couple weeks time here and there. And so then but once those things come in, we then have to move on them sort of as quickly as we can to turn it around in a year. That it is a year's worth of stuff to get it all through.
And Jess kind of asked before about the legal requirement stuff. That's the bid process is where you have to have it in, it's called the black box ad. And you still have to print it in the newspaper for Illinois library law. It's leaving it out for 45 to 60 days. So, that's another thing that's just eating away at that time. And then we haven't even talked about, we ordered a big head of furniture last year, and it took 16 weeks. So that's just to build a bench.
There's a slat wall out here. 3 foot by 4 foot slat wall to put displays over here so people will stop messing with our stuff. And I reached out in January, and I'm waiting for delivery this week.
Wow.
And so that we were talking with EA at their meeting, and we were talking about how do you estimate costs? Because we meet with a couple of guys, and there's a nice idea guy, Joe, who's met with you all here, and comes and tells a great story and pitches things, and then there's his estimator, Sean, who's in the meeting with us, and we're like, so Sean, what's that going to cost? He's like, I have no idea. He's like, we're going to do our best, but anything wood or steel, they can't quote right now, and anything with a chip in it, they can't quote right now, because they just don't know what costs are, and nothing is coming in right now. So there will be a lot of guessing, and
at least this amount.
So that's sort of how we ask them to do it, as opposed to saying, it'll cost, instead of, up to this one, I'll be like, at least here's our floor, and it's going to go up from there. So.
And then the contractors will be responsible if they have to get into sort of permitting through the village.
Yeah, so that will be part of our budgeting process is we set aside money for permits. We've been lucky. The permit often waives our fees, but we always put it in the budget just in case they decide not to this time. But for those of you who are around, we were looking at just going back through some of my timeline for the pickup window. And that's a comparable size project. That project ended up being about $170,000 all in. So a little more than what we have budgeted this year. But that project took about 16 months from starting the bid work to completion. And the construction portion was a year, and it slipped out of that winter date, and then the contractor didn't show up for 4 months because he was building a school for the summer. And so it was just so that's why we really want to do all this. And through all this, you'll be getting sort of updates in your board packet from Jen about meetings we've had, things we're doing, especially as we get into the bid and construction phase. You'll see updates on how much the bid award we've spent, where we are with the contingency money, all those things. So you will, it'll be hopefully a fun year for you all to pick away at a small project that will have a nice result and hopefully go very smoothly, and we're not poking holes in any walls or do anything like that. So.
Yeah, that's always the great unknown with this building. I think when they opened walls for the pickup window, because that was the envelope of the building. That was the outside. I mean, what was between the walls was like sand.
There was a mystery void that we discovered. We had to add a header over a window because a wall was load bearing that we didn't think was load bearing. It was just one of those. And we still came in well under budget on that project. Like it was not a disaster, but it just sort of goes slow.
Living with that.
So next month, Edward Anderson's going to come back to us with about how many ideas do you anticipate?
So I believe 4.5.
4.5. Okay. So we'll have 4.5 options to kind of weigh and consider.
Yeah, and a lot of them are similar. A lot of them are up on the second floor. Like that's sort of where we want to sort of start because the first floor has seen some of the renovation, the lobby, and the children's department. So looking at the study rooms, the quiet reading room, furniture, the expanded marketplace, and the book drop. So those 5 things. So, but not all of them might take up that full money we budgeted. So we might do the pickup window and some furniture, or the study rooms and a pickup window, depending on what the costs come in as. And so that's what we're waiting to see from them, and then we'll sort of pick and choose off a menu what our budget is and head forward.
And we also still haven't heard fully on our per capita grant money, which is another $24,000, which may and or may not be coming to us depending on how administrative and lawsuits work. So again, that's another $24,000 that we can adjust our request and put it toward building improvement as well. So there may be things where we have this menu and somebody may leave us a bequest of $20,000 that we can say, oh cool, now we can get 5 more couches, or no, 2 more couches. 2 more couches. Let's be honest, 2 more couches. So, but that's kind of, where we've been in this process. We've been working with Egbert Anderson. The board chose them back in April of 2020. When was that? 2024? Yes. So we.
I should say we're not.
Don't look at that. But, when we started working with them on this idea, this is just the next kind of natural progression. And with the way that we're budgeting it, with the money related to the fiscal year expenditure, it's restricted. So we may get to a point where we're like, okay, it's $70,000 for, this, but we can then, it helps me to know when I go to do the budget for next year to bring to the finance committee and say, hey, we've still got $30,000 of work. I can find that by moving this, that, and the other. So we will not be done with Egbert Anderson for quite some time. But because you all approved the facility improvement plan, you set the direction. So now this is the place where we take and we kind of run with the next set of plans.
Yes.
Speaking of that, at some point it might be nice to share that with our meetings.
Oh yeah, I could email that
so
to you.
So that you get all the background.
Maybe that could be your first library official email from me. I can send it to your official email.
Then you can see all the work they did to kind of analyze the building and the usage, and then the ideas they presented to us, and then what we're going to hopefully do with it from here. So, yeah, that'd be great. It's interesting. It's fun renderings. Awesome. Any more questions for Peter? Thank you so much. Thanks for giving us the overview of what to expect. It's really helpful to kind of know what's coming.
Yeah.
So I think that timeline is really handy. Okay. So we have the memo on the signatory changes, which was in the packet. Pretty straightforward. We just need to vote on it because we're.
It has to be edited first though, because my name's spelled wrong.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yeah. Just want to make sure it's.
Oh yeah.
And it's not technically hyphenated
Gotcha.
either. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we can approve it with edits.
Yes.
Exactly.
So we're adding Chantal, removing Becky, correcting Chantal's name. Do I have a motion to approve this memo on signatory changes for our financial accounts?
Motion that we approve the signatory changes for financial accounts memo.
You all can approve it. Yeah.
I'll go second myself.
You can do that too.
Did you catch that, Joyce?
So I second the motion.
Jessica
Yeah.
did. Yeah. So any discussion on this? So this is your chance if you have a question or a comment or something. Otherwise, we'll just do a roll call. And since it's a financial decision, we call individually. So each of us, if it were just more general, we would do all in favor. So roll call.
Katie.
Aye.
Lisa.
Aye.
Chantel.
Aye.
Bet.
Aye.
Jess.
Aye.
Jen.
Aye.
Vicky absent, motion passed.
Okay, great. Excellent. Easy peasy. All right, so next up and the last item of business is the Trustee Handbook. So I know you guys all got this in email digitally. It's always available on the website as well. But I think it's nice to have a paper copy. I'm a paper girl. So I'll pass those out. And I wanted everyone to have one tonight. So Lisa and Chantal, you'll have one as well.
Okay.
I'll hang on to Vicky's.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It might be an extra. So the handbook is the first section, and then clip to the back is the acknowledgement. And I'll ask that you bring that back at our next meeting once you've had a chance to review it. I don't want anyone to lie and say they've read it when they haven't. Because I'm a rule follower. I know, ethics, man. So this, I know accredited Joyce in her resolution, but she and I, this kind of came out of discussions we had when I came on the board. Like she said, we're both librarians, but we didn't know how to be trustees. We didn't know what was entailed, and there were so many acronyms, and there's so much library lingo. Even as librarians, there's library lingo. And so we thought it'd be helpful to just give some kind of guidance and background on how things work. What is the levy? Like, what is IFLAR? You hear these terms thrown around. So hopefully this will answer some of those questions. The part 2 that I do want to call your attention to is the ethics portion. I think that's particularly important. It's the first real meaty part after the welcome notes, so it's on page 2. And this was adopted from the United for Libraries, which is the American Library Association's trustee arm. And these are just basic concepts that library trustees are meant to follow. And if you have questions about anything, please reach out to Jen, reach out to me. We're here. There's never like a statute of limitations on your questions. You can always ask us. You can ask us the same question again. We're happy to help. And your fellow trustees as well, I know, are the same. So don't hesitate to reach out to us. Bring this back next month. And am I forgetting anything, Jen?
The only other thing that I would recommend, and it is in the handout, and if you want to just click the link, it's on the website. The Open Meetings Act training, it would be a really good idea for all of the trustees, if you haven't taken that training within the last couple of years, just to really be aware. I mean, a lot of it is underscored in our handbook, but that is like our secretary, for example, has to take Open Meetings Act training that has to be filed. So there's those kinds of things that fall in. I'm trying to think of the
Yeah, that's a good point.
stuff.
When I spoke to Vicki the other day about secretary, I mentioned that to her and just how it would be a good idea for all of us, I think, to refresh ourselves on that.
I know I haven't done it in quite a few years. So when you
There's
go and
one specific place who does it, or committee.
Yes.
Or organization.
So the Illinois Attorney General's office, Kwame Raoul's office, has they run what's called the PAC, the Public Access Council, and they are the people who are in charge of governance of the Open Meetings Act and FOIA stuff. So that is when you go to their website and you're actually registering on the PAC website, and then when you go in, you can start and stop the training. You don't have to do it all in one fell swoop, but it's definitely a watch this and then answer a question about it. So it almost reminds me of if you've ever gotten a speeding ticket and you take online traffic school, it's a little bit like that, unfortunately. But there are these. It's a classic thing of the law not necessarily catching up with reality. That's why you can't hit reply all, for example, because it creates an open meeting. And anything discussed there is in violation of the Open Meetings Act because you can't invite the public to an email. but the law hasn't been updated. So we've had to learn how to do it properly just as followers of the rules.
Right. Yeah, but I will add that I'm pretty sure that that's one of the first things I did with my trustee email was like reply all, or like send in, I was a new committee chair and I was like, hey everyone, and I'm just used to running committees at work and sending emails to everyone, and it's like, I was very kindly and gently corrected, so don't feel bad if you screw up.
Yeah, exactly. And they will tell you there's really no like library police. The police is really Katie reminding you like, hey, I know you just forgot for a second, like kind of thing.
I had a coworker do it with patients, and so I had to file like a whole HIPAA thing. Luckily it was less than 500 people because that's the cutoff. It's less than that, you only have to do like 3 steps. If it's more than that, then you have to make a public announcement and like put it in the press and yeah.
Oh my.
So we don't have
I have a little bit of PTSD, so I will never reply all that.
You'll notice too when I send emails out, like I do this with all staff at work because I don't want one person to email 49 other people or whatever. Like, yes, Jen, this is a great idea. Like, we don't need all that business. So I email it to myself and then just blind carbon everybody else so that way, even if they hit reply all, it's getting to me.
Yes, I do that too. And it is something to remember this gets tricky with committees because their committees are so small. There are just 3 of you. So 2 is a quorum. So like if you're talking to another committee member, you're technically a quorum. So you're really not meant to talk about committee business outside of your actual committee meeting. So I know it's
bananas.
It is bananas, but just, we try to
we have rule
do it right. So.
Well, especially like a smaller community where it's like you're gonna see people at the block party. Yeah.
Think Joyce out.
This far away from me at all times.
You'll also hear us talk about the bylaws, and those are on the Board of Trustees page on our website, and those are basically like the rules for our board. So if you ever have questions, I know sometimes I'll like, what does the secretary do? And that's all defined there too, and it's just a nice reference as well, in addition to all of our other policies. So you've got all that. So that's finished, so we can do our committee reports, which should be pretty straightforward tonight. But Chantal, do you have anything to share for finance?
I think just that we need to do the letter for the levy in June, right?
Yes.
So I think we need to figure out a time to meet for that.
Yeah.
Should we do that today?
Yeah, we can do it before you guys leave.
Okay, let's try to figure that out so we don't have to do any reply all emails. I don't want to get in trouble. I've done it too.
No, I know.
You just don't think about it.
Write a message? I don't know. So finance often meets before this meeting, right? Like sometimes?
Yes.
Sometimes?
Sometimes we meet right before the meeting, and sometimes we meet at a different time. We can just do whatever works for us.
For everyone.
Yeah.
There's some flexibility is what we're saying.
Yeah.
So, okay. So Friends, Vicky is the current Friends liaison. She's not here tonight, but is there anything to know, Jen, that you're aware of?
They met last week to go over, so when the staff makes requests of the Friends group, they apply for grants. So they go through, so we had grants given for some summer reading prizes, which they do for us usually every year. And they gave a grant for us to subscribe to a streaming. So have you heard of, Swank is the place that does our movie licensing. So like you can't just like pop out and put any DVD for public showing because this is a public forum, even if it's a limited public forum. So you have to have license to be able to show the movies that you're showing. And they added, after the budget, this new streaming idea that gives you access to like the Minecraft movie is available already and it's still in the theaters. Oh. So that's something that we said, hey, can we pivot and get at least this year paid for? We'll figure out how to pay for it next year. So we're trying to think of some different ways that we could utilize that around the library. And then the other one was an outreach request that they fulfilled as well. So.
Rails, ILA, anything to know there that you can think of?
Not anything big. Just the stuff you're kind of seeing. We're keeping up with IMLS and funding challenges. That's basically it, I think.
Okay, cool.
Is this library going to be affected by the Rails stuff?
So that's where we're sort of on the tipping point. So on May 6th was the last time that we got an update. So clearly not anything in the last 2 weeks, unfortunately. But so the current injunction that was filed in Rhode Island was the state. So the state's 21 states attorney generals came together to file this lawsuit against the legal dispensation of IMLS. And the mandate following the injunction was that the funding for 2025 had to be granted. So Rails has received funding for 2025, but they are not sure that they will receive any finance increases for 2026. So the big thing that we get from Rails is delivery service, but delivery service is something that Rails is trying to keep as a big priority. So they are being told by the state library to present a flat budget. So no kind of levied extra dollars for Rails. So the Secretary of State is also the state librarian. So we love Alexi in the libraries. And, Alexi is very pro-library. So he's working on his budget to kind of figure out how we can continue to support that delivery service. One of the other projects I know has gone through is funding for our incarcerated people that live in Illinois. Prison libraries have not been funded since 1995 for outside of whatever's donated. So that Rebecca was talking about the book exchange, knowledge exchange. They don't just take books and recycle them. They will pass them on to incarcerated people's juvenile detention centers. And then anything that is unable to be passed along, they recycle it. So that's kind of how that pipeline has been going. Alexi has put, I think $450,000 in the state budget this year to fund the few prison libraries in Illinois. So he's definitely working with us. But yeah, so we don't have too much information yet. That's why they're still kind of asking, library supporters to contact their local representation to make sure that they are advocating for IMLS funding to be reinstated in the 2026 budget, which is what the administration is talking about right now. So
that's supposed to be in the bill that they're supposed to pass. Is the IMLS even?
In their budget, yeah. It's totally not even mentioned. It's completely defunded in the 26 federal budget. Which, again, for Illinois, we're funded by local property taxes, so it's better. But like state libraries like California, Colorado, that are very, even Hawaii, which is very state library heavy, they're at risk of having no funding whatsoever. So, I mean, I have no opinion on that further publicly, but if you want to chat after the meeting, let's chat.
Thank you. Policies. Do you guys have anything cooking?
I have one in the hopper ready to go.
What would you like to do next?
So maybe we could set that meeting before we leave today.
Okay, meeting setting. Great.
All right, great.
And then Village, does anyone know anything going on with the Village? Any hot gossip?
So the finance director
yes, that's right.
submitted her resignation, Susie Mika.
Really?
She's actually going to be the finance director at Villa Park. So I still get to work with her as a trustee, but they announced that at the last Village meeting, and then they appointed a new director of public works, which is, I don't want to say it's Tim O'Brien. It's
his name is Timothy O'Brien.
Is it? Okay.
Yes, but he's not the Tim O'Brien.
Yeah.
Like not the Village, the park. Is he Parks?
The fire chief, isn't his name Tim O'Brien? Wait.
What? Tim O'Brien.
Tim
used to be on
Griffin,
the park
I'm sorry,
board,
is
now
the
he's on
police
the village
chief.
board.
Yes. Right. Yes.
There you go.
He moved.
Yeah.
Not vote.
But I did a double take when I saw that.
So that'll be interesting. We have a pretty close relationship with the finance department at the Village. They carry our retirement system, IMRF, and Susie has been a staunch supporter of libraries. She's made some great recommendations to me since we've gotten to work together. So I'm curious to see. The Village has another spot to fill. It's a very difficult spot to fill someone in public finance with a nonprofit background, which is the Village is a not nonprofit, but they're a governmental background. So it'll be challenging, and the budget year just started May 1st. So
Well, we did pass a referendum, so there's at least money.
At least something.
Thanks for the updates.
Yeah.
You did all the.
I saw Susie last week. Susie was part of mayhem last week. I got to see her, so it was good. At my the meeting of the chiefs, we like to call it.
Cool. Awesome. All right, you're on.
Yeah, so with the director's report, usually what happens is, you all have this. This is based on our strategic plan. So I don't necessarily go through every single thing. This is a 9-page report. Usually I'll try to pick out 1 or 2 highlight things. I also very conscientiously choose things from different departments. So I might talk about something from admin, or I might talk about something from children's. But I guess I could maybe take it and ask first, are there any questions or anything you'd like to hear more about from the director's report?
I love the book with the Post-its in it.
Is that not great?
I actually reserved the book.
You did. You got high opinions, right? Mm-hmm. Probably the biggest and most personal thing was we had the original, the mural that is in Tyler's room needed a touch up, and we had the original artist scheduled to come last fiscal year, and then it's a pair of artists, one of them unexpectedly passed away. So we had the remaining artists. I think, did she bring one person, Ronit? She brought another person with her, and they added a bunch of new little creatures too. So that's the picture, and that is some of the butterflies that they added to the room. So next time you're in there with the little guys, take a look around and see if you can find all the new stuff.
Was it just wear and tear on the mural? I would imagine it gets.
I think that it's that sun exposure. It gets a lot of exposure at certain times. At least it has window treatments in it. But also, there are certain things like that chair rail. It's just never going to be exactly the same. So, but the Dwelm family co-sponsored, they split the cost with us to be able to update it. So the Dwelms are very involved with the library. They're great people.
It's wonderful that they maintain that commitment and that connection after all this time.
Yeah, for sure. And then, let's see. Was this the one where you saw the carpet? Looking good? And then one of the things I thought that I would mention was just the staff was so appreciative of your time during National Library Week. National Library Week is also when we celebrate our staff. It's a staff appreciation week too. Making these pens was like the vibe. Everybody loved it. You got to customize, like you buy these little kits and put your pens together. These are all nice things that people said about their coworkers. So having the opportunity to do that. And one of my favorite things is we did receive a grant. And this is just an outside highlight for what we're calling our Share the Shelf initiative. And after meeting with some of our school librarians in our area, our elementary school librarians and junior high, one of the things that we found was that they didn't have as much access or budget for popular leisure reading. They might be able to buy 1 copy of something, but not 4. So we applied for a grant through Rails, My Library as grant, and I believe it was $3,200, I think. And we are then buying a collection, Share the Shelf. We'll have it on our shelves for a year, and then we will pass that collection along to another school, and then they can choose to kind of pass it along as they need to. So it's something we're trying this year with a grant, but we're really excited to be able to put it into our regular budget to continue to support reading and learning in our school libraries too. So I think that'll be cool.
That's really cool. I know from volunteering in the school library, the librarians always talk about the kids love multiple copies because they like to read the same thing at the same time. So it's great that you're going to facilitate that.
Yeah, and that was something staff came up with that idea. So, get out of their way and let them do the thing.
And I was going to say, I attended the cooking program with my son, and he just loved it. It was like him and like 2 other kindergarten boys. So I was like, oh. And I don't know why no one showed up because there was a big list, and only 3 of us came, but it was great. And I got to experience that whole cooking cart.
Charlie cart?
Yeah, it was really cool.
Was that the horchata one? Or was it a different one?
Yes.
I wish I would have been there.
It was fun. Yeah.
They had a Starbucks new flavor, by the way, is horchata this summer.
It was good.
Putting it out there. Oh, I'm glad.
That's cool. Well, thank you. Any other questions or comments about Jen's report? Any other comments?
I have one quick comment I wanted to make. I went to a training, we were both there, and Jenny, on Saturday, that Jen did with another librarian from the Illinois Library Association. And it was just a trustee orientation, even though I'd been in the spot for a year and a half. I found it very helpful. And so Jen will send out to us training opportunities, that educational opportunities about how best to serve as a library trustee. And I just encourage you guys to look at those. A lot of them are webinars, there's a couple hours long. The one that I signed up for next that I think I would encourage other people to look at is how to best evaluate an executive director on their performance review.
Oh, good.
Given what's been kind of the past of what's been going on, I think we can get a little more cohesive in that plan. And so I signed up to do that, and I would encourage anyone else who's interested in that to do that as well. But there's a lot of cool opportunities that are very, not big time commitment.
Was that through Rails or was it through?
That one was through,
it
there's
was
so many
Rails,
different ones. I forget what it's through. But do you think, Jen, could you forward that email to the new trustee members so that they can get that one as well? And it's not for a few months, but to get on your calendar.
And our emails are going to be activated or what?
You're live.
They just have to get logged in and multi-factor authentication.
Has instructions, your email address and password and everything.
Exciting. I just was excited to get an honorable info name.
Thanks for mentioning that.
You're welcome.
That's really helpful, and just to reinforce those training opportunities when they pop up.
Yeah.
So.
I totally forgot to mention, and this was in the report, but the library was for Go Green La Grange. We were the community spotlight this month. We have awesome partnerships with Go Green La Grange, and I couldn't pull a good picture of this to put actually in the report, but I know that it was in there, and they love us for our sustainability efforts, so we love to share. It's all about sharing, right? So it's great.
Thank you. Yeah, Jen, that was a great job at that training, and what a feather in our cap to have you presenting. It was a room full of trustees from all around the region, so it was really a proud moment to see Jen and Renee, who is the president-elect of ILA, which also, it's an all-star cast there, so it's very cool. So well done. All right, anybody else? In that case, let us adjourn at 8:35 p.m.